What am I doing? I'm warming up my voice. Right? No, it's the middle of summer, and this is not how you warm up your voice. Ugh. Stupid. Okay, well, that might be a pretty good idea in the wintertime, but in late July? No. Anyway, hi, I'm Jan Anderson, voice actor in Salem, Oregon, and I want to talk to you about vocal warm-ups. And no, I mean, like I said, wearing a scarf and a good jacket in the wintertime, it is a good idea to protect your throat, but that's not the kind of warming up we are talking about today. What we're talking about is making sure that your voice and your vocal folds and all that stuff, your mouth, your nasal cavity, everything, your lungs, everything that's connected here is in good shape for when you're performing voiceovers. So let's get into some ideas, all right? Okay, well, why should I warm up at all? I mean, come on. And not talking is natural, right? Well, yeah, but if you do some warm-ups, it can prepare you for a strenuous job or a long job. It can, when you warm up, you roll out of bed, some of this has to do with getting your mind sharp too. A lot of these exercises can help you, kind of prepare yourself mentally for a job too, or even just a series of auditions or whatever it is you're doing. It can help you with your clarity. Not that you want to have perfect diction all the time because that can sound pedantic and robotic and all that other stuff. It can also help you with consistency, just making sure that you're reading consistently and things are sounding good, that your breath control is where it needs to be. It can, like I kind of alluded to, it can help you with stamina. I have a problem with I'm about to say, I have a problem with stamina. Okay, let's not go there. The mind wanders. It can also help you to reduce vocal strain. Like if you're warm and you're going into something that's going to be a demanding session, and you try to really emote or use loud volume or something like that, that can get a little tricky. When you're acting and you're in character and you go for something, you can hurt yourself. So it helps to be prepared for that. Long sessions, particularly for like video game sessions, character, that kind of thing, where you're kind of doing some vocal gymnastics sometimes. Yeah, being warmed up can really help. It can help with your, like I said, breath control. Breathing properly is a big deal, particularly when you have to. Some scripts have run-on sentences, and if you can take a deep breath and know how to use it properly to extend the length of your read, that can be really helpful. Now, in terms of what kind of exercises to do, there are a number of things you can do. All right, let's start with the breathing. I always try to start with correct posture. I sit most of the time when I record. A lot of people say, no, you should be standing. Okay, that's fine. To each their own. I prefer to sit. I just like to sit here and record and edit and boom, boom, boom and not have to change my position a lot. But if standing helps you, by all means, particularly when it comes to breath control. When you're standing, you do have greater access to your diaphragm and how your diaphragm is controlling your lungs. When you're breathing diaphragmatically, it helps with your breath control, and it just kind of helps to center your breath. Oh yeah, I was talking about posture. So whenever I'm recording, I'm a sloucher. Like when I'm just working or, I'm kind of like this. But when I'm recording, I try to sit up straight, have my, my microphone position helps me with that a lot because I want to make sure that my microphone is in the correct placement to my mouth and my head. So when my posture is correct, that helps me to access more of my lung capacity, my diaphragmatic system here, okay? What you can do to help with that is to practice your exhales and inhales. Do it long and controlled like this. Hold, then This is not making for a very exciting video. Anyway, you get the idea. Other things you can do, along with those long inhales and exhales, are using S and Z sounds. Both inhale and exhale. So you're breathing in through your teeth, then out through your teeth. I don't think I can inhale a Z. That doesn't work. That helps stimulate nerve function as well when you're making these sounds. Same with humming. That's getting into some more resonant practice, resonant warm-ups, resonant and placement. And that has to do with where your tongue is in your mouth. I think I just made a tongue click, as a matter of fact. But humming is great. It does a number of things. It wakes up the whole front of your face here, what's called the mask, and including not only your mouth and your tongue, but also your sinus cavities. It helps to just get things loose. A lot of the sound of your voice comes from your sinus cavity and the kind of this mask. It's not just, the sound doesn't just come from here. It comes from the whole mask area, including your sinuses. So it's very important not only to have oral health and sinus health, which is why like colds are awful, especially, you're stuffed up, you get a sinus headache. It's really hard to work through that kind of thing. So anyway, humming's great for that kind of thing. You can hum a tune. You can hum like dialogue. That's a great exercise anyway, because when I'm teaching in voiceover sessions, we talk about the melody of dialogue, of just speaking. It's not those sounds actually do create kind of a melody, but that's where I'm getting off topic again. So let's talk. Okay, now how about this? Lip trills, motorboating. Again, the mind goes somewhere it's not supposed to go. So lip trills, tongue trills, all this is just kind of waking up the mask area and also your vocal folds too. All this is preparing for flexibility and being able to do more and just being prepared for something that you might ask it to do. Okay, let's see. A sound that you make when imagine you're making like an NG sound, like ring. That NG sound. That's another good one with the humming. That's another resonance and placement exercise, because the NG sound, it's the placement of your tongue kind of up against the top of your mouth. We talk about a lot of that in my sessions too, where we talk about vocal placement and placement of your jaw or your tongue and whether you're using the back of your mouth versus the front of your mouth, that kind of thing. Anyway, great things to work on. For articulation and diction, you might want to try some tongue twisters. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, that kind of thing. You can search for them online. There's a whole number of things you can do. And they're fun. They just kind of helping you to sharpen your brain to mouth capacity and communication. And I'm laughing because I always need much more of that, as evidenced by these videos. Okay. So, also you can do what's called an over articulation drill. And that one thing that people do to help with that is they'll take a pencil and put it in their mouth and try to speak intelligently while trying to maintain diction and clear speech. Okay, that's an exercise for articulation and, well, just that, articulation. Okay. Another important thing for me, I have a problem with jaw tightness. I sleep with a mouth guard in, and to prevent me from clenching, Anyway, so sometimes I have a very stiff jaw. So this is going to look really funny, especially if you slow this down, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay? I'm watching myself on video. Yeah, it's hilarious. Anyway, doing these things, making sure that your jaw is loose. If you can move your jaw with your hand, making sure that it's relaxed enough so that you can operate it that way, that's a good sign. It means that you are able to relax your jaw. A lot of people can't. They'll try, but it doesn't really move very easily. And that can cause problems. It can give you headaches. It can tire you out faster than you may want to be tired out. So those are some good articulation and diction exercises, okay? Also very important, particularly when you're doing more active vocal work, like for characters, like I say, video games, that kind of thing. Working on your pitch and range. I mean, these are good exercises anyway, just to help with your pitch and range, to maintain what you've got, or even give you a broader pitch and range. So doing things like sirens. Up and down like that. Scales. La 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 la. These are good things. Sing. Oh, that's one of my favorite exercises. Whenever, particularly when I know that I'm going to be doing something where I want to be warmed up, and I want to have some of that diction and pitch control and that kind of thing. Not that I'm going to be singing in the session necessarily, but I'll sing Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious because it does a number of things within that song. It warms up the voice. Singing is just a great warm-up exercise anyway. Unless a nice easy song, easy in the range anyway. You're not reaching for high notes or anything like that. So I sing Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious because it also provides a tongue twister, and it's a fun song. So I would encourage you to use that, or whatever songs you like. Sing. It's a great exercise. Another thing you can do is to come up with an exercise that gives you a range of emotional levels. Like you can start being really, really friendly and happy and hi, how are you? And then you can get really deep and dark and angry. And that kind of fluctuation, you don't want to do this right away. I wouldn't use this as your first exercise, but developing into something like that can again help you, kind of like the siren exercise does. It's just it's preparing you for sudden shifts in attitude. Okay. Reading exercises. Cold reading, I always recommend cold reading, whether it's for vocal warm-up or not. Particularly for beginners that aren't really used to cold reading, it's a great exercise. You open up whatever, you've never read it out loud before, and you just go. It helps kind of establish the communication from your brain to your mouth, and it starts getting you used to interpreting where the writing is going. So you can kind of get into the flow of the writer's style a little bit. Start to imagine where the dialogue or the writing is going, so you can prepare. See how they frame and structure their sentences and paragraphs. That kind of thing. Very helpful. And so I guess the thing to do is, if you would like, is to do these kind of exercises 5 or 10 minutes a day. That's plenty. Now, here are a couple other things that I've noticed in conversation. Some people, particularly newer people that get latched onto this idea of, oh my God, I've got to have a workout regimen. I've got to prepare daily. Don't stress out about this. This is This is the kind of stuff you do while you're going around getting breakfast and I should say this is the kind of thing I do when I'm taking a shower, having breakfast, getting coffee, just kind of getting warmed up in the morning. I don't sit down and okay, now I must prepare for the day. No, I don't do that. To be quite honest, most of my warm-up is just talking to my wife in the morning. Just speaking. I will also suggest this. Warm up for the kind of work that you're going to be doing. Now, most of my work, as I say, on a daily basis, I just have a conversation with my wife. I just talk. I will sing, but if I know I'm going to be doing something demanding, let me back up a second. The reason why I don't do a more thorough workout, warm-up in the morning is because most of my work is commercials and explainer videos and e-learning. It's pretty easy vocally, It can be demanding acting-wise at times, but it's pretty easy unless I'm doing hard sell car commercials and that kind of thing, then I need to work out a little bit before I try to do something like that. But structure your warm-up based upon what kind of work you're going to be doing. For instance, if I know I'm going to be doing a video game character and I know what characters I'm going to be doing, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll be voicing several characters in one session. And sometimes they'll say, hey, we want you to read for this one too. Okay. So I'll do a more thorough workout, where I will practice my whispers. I'll practice warming up into a louder, more full, commanding kind of a vocal style as well. So I'll give myself a broader range of a workout. But again, this is minutes. It's not like, oh God, I've got a session coming up. I need the hour before to prepare. No, you don't. Well, I shouldn't say you don't. I don't. And so yes, it's an important topic. Take care of your voice, particularly if you're doing the kind of work that is strenuous. But don't get hung up on it being the be-all, end-all of your voiceover career. Live your life. It's kind of like the way my attitude about, what to eat, that kind of thing. Live your life. A lot of people say, you should never drink coffee before a session. I drink coffee before every session. Should I be? Could I reduce my mouth noise and mouth dryness? Yeah, maybe. But I want to enjoy myself. I enjoy drinking coffee, so I'm not going to deny myself that. I have enough things that I have to deprive myself of based upon my dietary needs and health concerns. So the things I can still eat and drink, I'm going to, damn it. Anyway, you guys, I hope this helps. So yeah, take care of your voice, but don't stress out about it. Tailor your vocal warm-up based upon the needs of the day. Okay? And it can be just a few minutes before whatever session comes your way. Because sometimes I don't know that I'm going to have a particular type of session coming up until, an hour before sometimes. So yeah, then I'll take a few minutes and warm up appropriately if I'm not already there. Okay? Anyway, that's it for me. If you would like to get some more information about starting your voiceover career, I've got a little pamphlet, a little handbook that is available if you click the link in the description. That'll take you to a page where you can download it for free, and it's kind of cool. I wrote it. Hey, how about that? And it's free, so take advantage of it. Other than that, if you're finding my content helpful, please subscribe and like my video. That would be very nice, and I would appreciate it. Other than that, I hope all is well with you, and until next time, take it easy.